Hello, welcome to the third Zoom happy hour. So the two groups are now in breakout rooms and they're being prepared for us to join and then start our topics of today and the videos, the films, the documentary that were assigned to be discussed. Okay? See you soon.
The first picture is her house. She lived like only 2 years here in Southampton, like in the last 2 years of her life. And the second picture is the bar gate. It's the landmark of the city. It's a landmark of the city, and it's like it's considered like the point zero of the city. In this point zero, we have this plaque with the information. One year when he was like 7 years, he and her sister went to a school in this region. Nobody knows where is the school, but the school unfortunately like shut down like in a few months after because it was a tifo pandemic. and and nobody knows where was the school, but this information is like and I was looking what's the relation between this point of the city and the school, because if they don't know the school was there or not, and I don't think so it was there because she was 7, and all biographies I was research, nobody says she moved to Southampton in their early age. She moved only in the end of her life. In this sense, I don't know. But in the point zero of the city, I think they put, because it's the point zero of the city, to attract the attention, to call the attention of the tourists now, to say, oh, we have some piece of Jane Austen history here. It's like only to make the bridge, the connection, and call the attention.
Let me only ask you a question. Would you like me to present the slides for you to start going through, or Maria, you can show the slide and go, and Chris starts talking? How are you going to organize?
For me,
I don't know how use this machine, okay? If you could do anything, I'd be very glad.
No, for example, the links. For example, the links to the movies. I don't know, parts of the movies, because I don't know if Chris is going to show anything. If you selected, Chris, the movies, the parts, because it's important.
I sent you.
But you sent me so many.
I sent you.
No, you sent me a lot. Sorry, but now you have to send to Maria or to the group. You know, to the group on WhatsApp. It's better for your group, because then you can show specifically the points that you have to show, or if it's necessary, to illustrate something. Okay, I'm going to talk to the boys and then try to.
Okay.
So, well, the first one is that one. Which group I have to send to you?
To the group, to your group, group
group?
1. Yes, because Maria can have access, and then if it's necessary, while you speak, Maria can show, you know. So if you have the exact time that you want to show when you compare, so Maria can help. And the other way, when Maria is speaking, I can show the PowerPoint. I have the PowerPoint opened, so if it's necessary.
This one I think now is to show is the summary of.
E agora entrou a.
You're speaking Portuguese. I can't believe.
Yeah.
Got you.
A mix the English and Portuguese.
We don't talk about the movie.
We didn't talk about the movie, so you talk about life.
We talk about the life, Flávia.
Oh, but
it's okay.
The girls organize themselves very well. The girls, you have to give the
of course
the award to the girls, because of course you are busy guys, you don't have the time to talk about that. But at least try to pay attention to the sequence of information. If you wanted to start talking about the movie, what you want to talk about the movie? So what's necessary to talk about the movie?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
First, I think I have a A point.
What is the point? Let me open here.
We are two men, two white men talking about the movie about racism or fight against the racism.
Okay, fighting against racism. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way,
we the white guys, and we don't feel the same. We don't put the shoes to feel the.
Yes, you don't put yourself in the same shoes.
Yeah, it's hard to do this because we never never get it do this.
You never get to do this. Okay, never got to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
And you, Cesar, so how do you see the situation if you compare? I don't know. Maria saw the movie, but Christina didn't see. So that's the point, you know. So then one saw, but the other didn't. Christina saw the documentary. So Christina saw the documentary, Maria saw Five Bloods. Okay, so just for you to check. Carlos saw Pride and Prejudice, but did you see 1995 or 2005?
2005, but I don't see again. I see years ago.
Okay, you saw years ago.
And I see in the catalog the Netflix the movie, because we don't see the last 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks. They didn't.
I don't know if
go in the catalog.
In the catalog, I don't think so. I didn't find Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, I found it yesterday.
You found?
Yeah, I found.
On Netflix, Netflix Brazil.
2005.
2005 with Keira Knightley, né?
Yeah.
Okay, Cesar didn't see, né? Pride and Prejudice.
Yes, I didn't see. I saw some small videos on YouTube just to know what's the history. But personally, I don't like this movie, but I think the subject is very interesting.
It is, and the girls are going to talk about many curiosities, even about Jane Austen, that is the author.
Yeah, but the movie I don't like, but the subject is good, but it's okay.
There are interesting aspects about social standards, social stratification. And in your movies, the Five Bloods, it's amazing, the blacks, and the number of blacks that were sent to war.
Yeah. I read it. I will share with you the article that I read that explains exactly this. For example, the fighting between the white and black soldiers during the war in Vietnam, and there the journalist traveled with a troop, American troop, between the war to research the behavior, the environment between the soldiers. And the most interesting of this article is exactly like a silos. Silos is correct? Silos, like a silos, for example. When the journalist stay with this troop, he didn't see any situation about the races between them, because the leader put, for example, it's like a leadership to bring some respect between the soldiers.
Very nice. It was established from the beginning, let's say, from the start.
Exactly. For example, here in my troop doesn't exist races, or everyone it's the same people. It's fighting by the war, patriots, like this. But in another case, the article explained, for example, the numbers of black soldiers in the war, it's higher, and the treatment between the black and white soldiers. For example, the jail on Vietnam, there are higher number of black soldiers, and for example, the cases, for example, the cases like war crimes. War crimes like racism. No? For example, I remember the number. I think it's more than 400 cases about racism, but only 10 cases was investigated. Because because the another cases was lost or like arquivados, né? Filed, exactly. And the article,
in fact, filed or stored, né? Stored, as you say, storage,
exactly.
né? Stored. Né? So
Exactly.
were stored.
And they explain to, for example, the American in that in the past was fighting two wars. For example, inside America, because the movement, for example, the Martin Luther King, the royalty, right? Yes, royalty, and the another war, it's Vietnam, inside Vietnam, between black and the white soldiers, and that was two movements in the American history
In
that
parallel,
time.
at that time. Okay,
Exactly.
very nice. Okay, so you have to see how you're going to see what the girls are going to start. Okay, and then you're going to interact. They're going to present, and then at a certain time they will interact with you. Okay, I'm going now to leave here. You have more 2 minutes to talk with Carlos in English. Okay. To be prepared. Okay, if he says that is leading the conversation, so try to put some points that you remembered from the movie. Or
of course.
Yeah, I remember the data. 32% of niggers of black people in the war.
In the war, very nice.
Yeah.
32%. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you here, but continue talking, okay?
Okay.
We need a little more.
A little more.
At least 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes more, please.
Okay. So I will give you more 5 minutes. Let's because the people are returning. Okay, I will send you back to the rooms again. I don't know if I can send it again, or I have to wait everybody to return, and then I give you I'll break out rooms. We'll close in 10 seconds. The boys
Then after in the third minute, I go straight to 4 or 4.30.
Espera só um pouquinho.
I
Só um
will,
instantinho.
okay,
I find another.
I will send you back because Christina, the girls asked for more 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to send you back. So let me put back again.
Okay.
Okay, let me go back. Let's go back. No, group 1, no. Sorry.
No.
Christina Marie again. And room 2. Okay, so you go again. Okay.
No.
Open our rooms.
Yeah.
Let's
Join.
go. Okay. Bye-bye.
Só um instantinho, que eu vou pegar o final de cada minuto. Peraí.
Christina, you are not there yet.
Prepare yourself for something very dreadful. First time I saw him at the assembly, he danced with nobody at all. Even though gentlemen were scarce and there was more than one young lady sitting down without a partner.
Can you go there, Chris?
Hold on a second. I forgot to do this, to mark in the video the points. I need a little bit to watch here and to find
the price. Let's start.
Let me share my one.
Maria's gonna start.
Share.
Okay.
This one here, share. Sorry.
It happens. The girls came prepared.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah,
are you
very
seeing me?
nice.
Yes, we can see. We can see now.
Okay.
I can see the slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I need to start. Okay.
Mhm.
Slideshow.
Yeah.
Very nice. So this is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Very good. Okay.
You can start, Chris, then I go forward.
I don't. The guys had already watched the film or read the book. One.
I saw some articles. I saw some small video on YouTube. I saw 2 videos on YouTube, but I didn't see the
whole
film.
film. So,
yeah.
Pride and Prejudice is one of the most famous books of Jane Austen. It's a romance at the first glance. And we have a summary of the book. I think you could I think you can show the summary and after you can talk about.
It's not a resume, summary, okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
It's not a resume, summary. I corrected my version.
It's my French classes that mix English classes.
Okay, go ahead. A book summary. Okay, go ahead. And then, are you gonna say?
Maria, can you share the video of summary?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so then we are going to watch the summary, okay? Probably you have to stop the sharing of the PowerPoint.
Are you not seeing?
No. Usually you
Nope.
have to stop the sharing.
I need to stop the share. Okay, stop
and
sharing.
share only the video.
And share again. Okay,
Share.
share.
The one that is this the summary? It's not the film. It's the cartoon.
Yeah. The cartoon you want.
The cartoon summary.
Oh, sorry.
Do you have the cartoon easily there?
No, if you have, it's better because I have the movie. Yeah.
Yes, this is the preparation. That's why I said,
Yeah,
when you have a preparation, presentation, sorry, you have to think about all the things.
I don't know how to use. I don't know how to use this technology. Okay.
This is time. Oh, talk to the voice. Then talk to the voice.
I have many equipments to know how to use, and I cannot see.
Do
You
you?
you have Flávia or not?
Yeah, I have to check under the which one, Chris, is the one that I gave on the doc, Google Doc?
I have
Yes.
here.
Yes, okay. Animated summary. Okay, it's the first, if it's the first link, is this one, Maria. I'm gonna give it to you and then you click. I'm gonna put here on the chat. Here.
I send in the chat.
Yeah, no, you send in the WhatsApp, but to avoid to have my pop-up of WhatsApp, but I have now. Yeah, I already have.
Remarkable. Deep in the downstairs bathroom.
Share, okay.
Okay, there we go. It's about 5 minutes, right?
Share.
Maggie's making the world a better place.
Sorry for that.
How you ask? Did you get in?
Nice.
Nice cartoon.
Very realistic.
And navigate the pressure of marriageability
Are you
within
listening?
the upper echelon of
Yeah.
society. Elizabeth Bennet and her sister Jane are caught within a system that honors wealth and title above all. The humble socioeconomic status of her family challenges Elizabeth, or Lizzie especially, although in the end, her moral code and desires for Mr. Darcy align. The novel opens at Longbourn, the Bennet family's estate, 50 miles outside of London. Mrs. Bennet, the mother of 5 daughters, is giddy that Mr. Bingley, a single man of large fortune, has moved to the nearby estate, Netherfield Park. She hopes that one of her daughters could be his new wife. The Bennets first meet Mr. Bingley at a ball, where he takes an immediate liking to the eldest daughter, Jane. Mr. Bingley's friend, Mr. Darcy, however, snubs Elizabeth. The community decides that Darcy is proud and disagreeable because of his reserved nature and his refusal to dance. Jane and Bingley grow fond of one another. However, while Bingley makes his partiality quite obvious, Jane is universally cheerful and somewhat shy. At the same time, Mr. Darcy begins to admire Elizabeth, captivated by her fine eyes and lively wit. She, however, feels contempt for him. Soon, Bingley invites Jane to his estate at Netherfield, but Jane, caught in the rain, falls ill upon her arrival. Seeking to help her sister, Elizabeth trudges through the muddy fields to Bingley's estate, only to be met by Bingley's arrogant sisters, Caroline Bingley and Mrs. Hurst, who are scandalized by Elizabeth's rumpled appearance. Darcy, who is also staying at Netherfield, will grow warmer toward Elizabeth, even as she sees him as haughty and proud. Mrs. Bennet and her younger daughters come to Netherfield to check on Jane, and Elizabeth is mortified by their foolish behavior and complete lack of manners. Bingley's affection for Jane grows. After Jane recovers, she returns home with Elizabeth. Soon after, Mr. Bennet's distant cousin, Mr. Collins, pays a visit to the Bennets' home in Longbourn. Mr. Collins is in line to inherit Longbourn because the estate has been entailed away from any female children. Mr. Collins is a silly man, speaking in long, pompous speeches with an air of solemn formality. He soon asks Elizabeth to marry him. Elizabeth refuses, and Mr. Collins ends up marrying her practical friend Charlotte instead. Meanwhile, militia officers have moved into the nearby town of Meryton. One officer, Mr. Wickham, seems to be an enemy of Darcy. He tells Elizabeth he was the godson of Darcy's father, who had promised Wickham a good inheritance. According to Wickham, Darcy failed to fulfill his father's dying wishes and left Wickham without any money. When Bingley hosts a ball at Netherfield, he and Jane spend the whole evening together. Foolishly, Mrs. Bennet speaks loudly about their imminent engagement, and Darcy overhears her. Later that evening, Darcy asks Elizabeth to dance, and she reluctantly accepts. When Bingley travels to London for business, Jane finds out he will not return to Netherfield for at least 6 months. In addition, Bingley's sister wants Bingley to marry Darcy's younger sister, Georgiana, in order to unite the two families' fortunes. Jane is heartbroken. When Jane travels to London, Bingley does not call her. Elizabeth hears that Darcy convinced Bingley not to marry Jane. Meanwhile, Darcy visits Elizabeth and confesses that he wants to marry her despite her low family connections. Shocked at his arrogance, she refuses him and accuses him of both ruining Jane's future happiness and betraying Wickham. The next day, Darcy writes to Elizabeth explaining that he objected to Bingley's marriage to Jane because of her low family connections and lack of particular preference for Bingley. Darcy also tells that his father had promised to provide Wickham with a living so long as he entered the clergy. Wickham both refused the clergy and squandered his newfound fortune. He also seduced Darcy's teenage sister, Georgiana. Darcy intervened before they could elope and saved Georgiana's honor. Soon afterwards, Elizabeth goes on vacation with her aunt and uncle and agrees to stop at Pemberley, Mr. Darcy's estate, because he's not present. Darcy arrives unexpectedly as Elizabeth is leaving for home. Lydia, her younger sister, has run off with Wickham. Frantic, Elizabeth confides in Darcy, who blames himself for never publicly exposing Wickham's wickedness. The family fears Wickham will never marry the poor and foolish Lydia. Wickham has amassed £1,000 of gambling debts, but when the two were found days later, Wickham has agreed to the marriage. Considering the size of his debts, Mr. Bennet knows that Wickham would never have agreed to marry a girl with so little money. In fact, it was Darcy who both found Lydia and Wickham and paid off Wickham's debts. Bingley and Mr. Darcy soon returned to Netherfield Park. Bingley proposes to Jane, and Darcy tells Elizabeth that his affection for her has not changed. She then reveals that her feelings have changed, and she says yes to his second proposal. Darcy realizes he was wrong to act so proudly. Elizabeth accepts that she was wrong to judge Darcy prematurely. In the end, Mr. Bennet is delighted that his two oldest daughters have married so happily, and Mrs. Bennet is glad that her daughters have married so prosperously.
Okay.
In the early 19th century England, the Bennet family is excited to hear that Netherfield Park, a large neighboring estate, has been leased to
Another video came.
There is a question here.
Okay.
Then I can share the presentation again. Here. Share.
Was it difficult or easy to understand, guys? Okay. So.
The plot?
So.
Any
some words. Yeah, so.
Some words.
Because yeah, some words is hard for me.
Okay.
No, that's right. The words are harder for everybody because this book is not easy to read.
Yeah, of course.
It was wrote in 19th century, and all the English is very different for
from the norms. Mm-hmm. Okay, very nice. So go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
Jane Austen, I like Jane Austen because she's very sharp in the way she speaks. She's very realistic and has a very special sense of humor. So it can she speaks in some very difficult things or situations for people in the book, but it's still being light to read about them. She knows very well the weak traits of people because she grew up, when Maria talks about her life, she is a daughter in a big family. Her father was a clerk, so she well educated, and she went to school, but just for a few years, and all her educated was home educated, and her father, as a cleric, can has educated the daughters in a very moralistic way. So she is inside very moralistic. And how she knows the weak traits of people, she has the intention of make people better than they really are. And she chose the romance as a language to show the world that you can improve yourself. For her, the marriage could be a way to get better. And in this book, you can see that because you have the main characters, both of them has weak traits, both of them has prejudice and pride. And through the story, then realize how they misjudge the others and get improved their behavior. So this I think this is one reason this book is so famous, because it's not only about love, it's silly love that you have that kind of emotion, it's physical emotion. They observe the others and listen to each other and realize that their manners had heartbroken the other, that make the other's life difficult, and try to correct their manners without accuse the others for their actions. That's very normal nowadays. So if you accuse you that you've done something wrong, you instead observe yourself and try to correct your attitudes. You start to fight into arguing. So no, I did this because you did another thing that hurt me before. So you keep in this cycle without breaking and improving yourself. I'm so excited about the book. I love both characters because they are characters. They are people that you can find in the streets. You can see these weak traits in yourself, many of them, and you can see you acting just like them. And I hope one day has this kind of active listening to listen the others complain about my manners and think about if it's my problem and I can change, or if the other's problem and I can do anything. This is one way to move on in your life. So if you pick this book and read now, I think you might have the same impression that if you choose the American adaptation. It's much more romantic than it was in that age. In 19th century, things are not that romantic because you got some situations in England, that social situation that you have to understand to read this book and have a more better comprehension, understanding of this story. So in that period, we have a very stratified society. Poor people don't talk to rich people. And if richer people don't talk to richer and richer people. So if you are richer, just like if you are rich as Bennett's family, because Bennett's family are not poor people, okay? They have a farm, they have a state house, they have 2,000 a year. That's not few money, it's a good money. But they don't have good manners. There's a very unfit. I'm talking a little bit about the Bennets to introduce to the story.
Only attention to time, okay, girls? So try to see the timing.
I speak faster.
Okay. No, yeah, no, it's important to make it understood, to make the situation understood, right? But so far, so good. If you have any questions, so raise your hands, okay?
The family Bennett is composed by the Mr. and Miss Bennett and 5 daughters. The problem they have is they're not poor, but they don't have good manners. But also, by the law, in the patriarchate system, the state house don't go to the daughters if Mr. Bennett dies. So if he dies, the family, the wife and the daughters had to leave the state house and leave with a little amount of money that he will leave on the will.
The will. Mm-hmm.
And the state goes to the closest male relative. That's Mr. Collins. That's very disagreeable person. Silly, degradable, and boring person.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the main concern about that Miss Bennett is so anxious to marry the daughter. If you realize that, you understand her behavior, that unfit behavior. If she saw someone who can provide economic and social good standard for her daughter, she wants to marry them. And put yourself in her shoes. If you have 5 daughters and you can be a widow by that any time because they are about 50 years old, almost 40 years old. Anytime you can be a widow. We are very aggressive in the way to marry your daughters. These explain many of her behavior. Mm-hmm. Also, we have the Bingley family. The Bingley family, it's very interesting because you have Mr. Bingley, that's a sweet guy, very nice. He knows how behavior and he has flexibility. He understands others' behavior. So if the others' behavior are not good, he doesn't mind. He just go through. But his sisters are very snobby. Shows a very, very snob behavior. They think they're better than the poor people. We have Mr. Darcy and Georgiana, Darcy's family. Darcy is the best friend of Bingley. And he's also he's richer, much more richer than everybody there. But he's not a noble. How we have a stratified society, and it's very clear. So the stratified society, your social status, that you have money and if you belong to aristocracy, is governed and impact all your social relationships. So he have many reasons to feel that he's better than the others. Because in that age, it's normal. You have to understand that age. In that age, it's normal. If you are very richer, the people don't talk to you, don't interrupt you, don't go through you and please, I want to talk to you, I want to introduce myself to you. Nobody does that. But also, he broke some rules of etiquette. And this is a point that I want to understand. He broke this code because he's very rude, because he's very snobby, because he thinks that he's better than others, or because he's a kind of shy person and could be a situation, a physical condition that drives him to this kind of behavior. And in the American adaptation, we can observe this more than in the British one, because in the American adaptation, all the emotions are much more in, how can I say, skin. Over
yes, they are on the top of skin, on the skin top,
So we can observe how he was discomfortable in some situations.
Uncomfortable
in some situations, and this could explain why he broke the laws of society behavior. And this is cost him an arm and a leg, because he did in the first ball that disagreeable many people, because when nobody knows him, when he's just arrived to the ball stopped, and the hostess has to introduce the rich people, the Bingley's family and Darcy's family. So everybody stopped to dance to know them. And after that, everybody who wants to talk to them has to be introduced through the hostess. And after, during this ball, he broke many things. So he was, when you read the book, and but when I read in the book, we saw the other's eyes, the other's perception of him. You don't know what he's feeling inside. So people are talking about him. When he first arrived, he's a tall, he's a handsome, he's 10,000 pounds a year. So everybody is so excited about him. When he starts to break the laws, he refused to dance, refused to know people, refused to talk to many people. People start to talk about him, how is this agreeable person. So is this other's perceptions, and not what he really is. And he took all the book to show to everybody how he is, how good character he is. He's shy, he's a snob, he's have a kind of superior intelligence. He is very intelligent also, but he's feel better than others because that. And also, but to show this for people takes much more time than to disagreeable people. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, now the time, attention, because Maria is going to take over after you, Chris.
Okay.
Yes.
Elizabeth. So I can explain more things about this when we show the video. So we can show the examples, and so we can talk more about Darcy. Mm-hmm. Elizabeth is an amazing girl. She's the second eldest daughter of her family. She was educated at home by her father. Her father's favorite ones, and she is different from her daughters and from her sisters because she's smart, quick, and also she tried to break the law of being married to be protected. She thinks that we have to marry for love, not to be protected. Mm-hmm. And in common sense of that age, marriage is a way to keep your economic and social protection. And Charlotte Lucas, her best friend, says it to her in two situations, that she chose marry Mr. Collins, that was very silly and the disagreeable man also, because she needs economic and social protection. So it's difficult to be romantic when you are very vulnerable. When we have vulnerable in your life.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But she's not all beautiful, all good. You have to understand some points of her. She's very stubborn. She has her opinion, and she also has pride. Right. She was ashamed of her family behavior. She thinks that she's better than her family also because she has good manners, and she says that she wants to marry for love. But what means love, and what kind of situation make you love someone? And there is a part of the book in the end that make this Jane Austen leave a doubt about her character. I do believe that she married for love. Okay, this is my opinion, but because she hated Darcy to almost the end of the book, and when she realized that when she realized that she had misjudged him, that she has preconceptions about him, that
preconcepts. Mm-hmm.
She had mortified herself and has to realize, and that her feelings towards him start to change. But when Janie, her sister, asked her when this love starts, she said a very tricky situation. She said that when she was I have to find this.
Can you show, for example, the video to illustrate just this part, Chris? Because I'm afraid we don't have so much time left. So, because if the boys just watch it apart, sometimes can be a little bit confusing. The idea of showing lots of details. So sometimes if you try to find apart the video that you selected, I think it can illustrate a little bit better this.
This part is in the BBC. In BBC.
The BBC.
It's not in the
2005. Then it's 1995.
I have this part when she's talking about this situation, when Janie asked her, when you start to love him, and she said when she went to when she saw the vast grounds and the big state house. It's amazing. It's an amazing place.
It's too big.
Okay. But also her mind changed when she met the housekeeper of the house. And she tell only good things about Darcy.
Yes.
The housekeeper say, "Oh, he's my master, and he's the best master I could have in life." And then she start to see him from the point of view for other people
from
who like
other
him.
people.
Yeah,
right.
Very good. She didn't like him, and she went when she arrived. She started to change her mind when she received the letter, when he explained many of the situations that had already happened before the first proposal. Because at the first proposal, he was very, very
aggressive, disagreeable.
You need me to show any part of the video?
I think it's nice to illustrate.
Okay, which part, Chris, you want to?
Sure, all that parts I asked to you,
Okay.
that they can illustrate it to them.
Attention to the language, okay, guys? Let's see the English language, okay? If it's possible to show with captions, okay, with subtitles. Not yet.
Not?
No, it's not. It's
No.
not shared.
Okay, share. Yeah. Now, yes. Right?
I don't know if you have so. This is 2005.
Yeah, 2005.
It's cutting a little bit. Did you share with audio?
I introduce Mr. Darcy of Pembrokeshire.
Are you? No.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will you dance, Mr. Darcy?
Not if I can help it.
Never seen so many pretty girls in my life.
You are dancing with the only handsome girl in the room.
She is the most beautiful creature I have ever beheld. But her sister Elizabeth is very agreeable.
Perfectly tolerable, I dare say. Not handsome enough to tempt me. You'd better return to your partner and enjoy her smiles. You're wasting your time with me.
Count your blessings, Lizzie. If he liked you, you'd have to talk to him.
Precisely. As it is, I would not dance with him for all of Derbyshire, let alone the Miserable half.
Of course, it's my Jane who is considered the beauty of the county. When she was only 15, there was a gentleman so much in love with her that I was sure he would make her an offer. However, he did write her some very pretty verses.
And that put paid to it. I wonder who first discovered the power of poetry in driving away love.
I thought the poetry was the food of love.
Of a fine stout love, it may. But if it is only a vague inclination, I'm convinced one poor sonnet will kill it stone dead.
So what do you recommend to encourage affection?
Dancing. Even if one's partner is barely tolerable.
So stop it. So you can see that he broke many laws because he had to dance. It's normal. But to him, to dance is very difficult because he had to talk. And he doesn't talk. He doesn't like to talk. In the further, he was talking about that. He doesn't like to have small talking to people he doesn't know. And he's different from Bingley sister, that he's very snobbish way to see. We can see how he is uncomfortable with all the situation. if you observe the face, and how his regrets didn't let down the invitation, because when she asked to dance, and he wanted to dance, but not, she lived, and he was looking to her leaving. So he wants, but he's shy in person. So he's not that bad, but seems bad. So then another point.
This is a question. Just a moment. This is the question. I'm going to ask the boys also. So in terms of interaction. So, and linking also for you when you are going to start talking about men's behavior, even talking about the blacks in the situation of the movies, or even the documentary about men. So how are men raised, brought up? Remember the difference between educated and brought up, okay, Chris? So brought up is when you have education at home, and educated when you have the society or at school, etc. Okay, we have this difference. So do you think that this behavior, Darcy's behavior or Bingley's behavior, or even the father, the girl's father behavior in the 19th century was a patriarchic way to behave in opposition to matriarchic way, so the mother way to behave? So in what generation, this is a question for us to discuss in the end, but I'm going to use it here. So in what generation, the 19th century, the 20th century, or the 21st century, Cesar has two boys, Maria has one boy and a girl, so Carlos has no children, Christina has no children. But for example, if you compared men's upbringing and education, now I'm using the two, the upbringing at home and the education at school and society, if we have things in common, or if you have totally different approach. Remember, computers, remember, exposition to digital, now we are all in digital scenarios. So how can we evaluate men, especially men in this case, because we are discussing the characters, the male characters, and also Lizzie, the girl, and Jane, etc. So we are talking about exactly this. And coincidentally, we are here in two girls and two boys, and I'm in the middle here. So, and if you compare these realities, so all these generations, and the way that men have to behave in society. So do you feel comfortable, for example, in the middle of people like Bingley, or do you feel shy like Darcy here? Independent of if you have money, independent of if you have knowledge, independent of, or regardless if you have no education or you didn't have the opportunity to go to school, like the boys in the documentary. So, and then you have the outcasts, the ones that are completely out of society, that didn't have the chance to have a good family, that didn't have the chance to have a good schooling, etc. So this is the discussion of this happy hour in the end. So of course, sorry to interrupt, but it's just to link the points of the discussions that we are going to have. So we are showing the characters, we are showing the story, but we are also talking about the 19th century. And then we are going to compare to the 20th century and then 21st century that we are now, and how you are going to raise your children, how you see the children.
Actually, Jane Austen wrote the book in the 18th century.
Século XIX, 1900.
No, at 19.
It's 1700. She wrote the book in the yes, in the end of the century, because when she was 25, this means she in the 1080. She read write 3 novels. One of the first one was the Pride and Prejudice. In this sense,
the first one is Sensibility.
Yeah, Sensibility. Yeah.
Okay, Chris, I'm going to interrupt you a little and give the word to Maria, because we have 5 minutes to finish, because it's already 4 o'clock. Okay, and I have to pass on to the guys. Okay, for us to open.
I need to stop the video to go to the, because I'm talking to the biography.
Just a little bit. Sorry to do that, but we have to control the time. Okay, girls. Okay, boys, and then that's it. But we then Chris can interrupt if there is any moment, né? But just to see now, because I think it's interesting to see Jane Austen's biography, to see what exactly happened, né? For her to create this story so young. Né? She was 25 when she wrote.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. As Chris told us, Jane Austen born in Steventon in England. Okay, it's a part of Hampshire. By the way, it's the county I'm living now by coincidence. And
very synchronic, very synchronic.
She born in 1775. Okay, and her father was a rector of the local parish. And she was the seventh of 8 kids. Okay,
wow.
She was one of the youngest one in the sense, and her family, they are not rich people, but because her father was the rector, they are well connected and well educated. In this sense, Jane and Cassandra, one of the sisters, she was more attached. And some people say all the relate about sister she was writing about is based on her relation with Cassandra. Okay, most of the things we know about Jane Austen life is because we got their letters, because they are exchange letters for all their lives. And both of them are well educated, but well educated at home. They have only not
educated because they didn't go to school. They were homeschooled.
Yeah, they went to a school for a few years, but most of the time they had the educated in the
at home.
Okay, neither then went having married. Okay. And Jane Austen began to write stories at a very young age. She completed her first novel in
her 20s.
In her 20s, okay. In the end of the 25, in the sense like
1800.
She already read 3 novels, okay. But look at that. She completed the first one when she was early 20, but her novel was published only in date 11. 1811. Okay, to give you an idea how long took the time to be published. And she died in the age 17, in the age of 42. Okay. And her last 2 books, Persuasion and Northgate Abbey, only be published after she passed away. And she both of this book earned like £500. This is the amount of money for this time. It's the money Jane Austen never saw in her life, like never. Okay.
So she only got recognition after she died.
Because and then I have information why this happened. Okay, here I have like a comparison to Austen life and Austen times. Okay, to understood, because something about Austen life is connected with the time she was living with.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and as I told, Jane and Cassandra never got married. Okay, and some people say perhaps due to that of burden of finding a man,
a suitable mate,
okay, with the same social class. Okay, between 10 and 35% of people in Jane Austen times remain single. Okay, because it's not. We need to think it's a time in England in the Regency time. we don't have mobility, social mobility. That means people that if you're born poor or rich, you remain poor or rich. It's really difficult to get over of this point. Okay, all of her works was published anonymous. Okay, and few outside of her family were aware of her writing. Why? First, because the only way to woman that time to have social advancement is through a successful marriage. Okay, it's not expect woman to work, to write, and to
be a housewife only.
Okay, yeah. And publish is one of the few ways middle-class women could earn money, but it's not, doesn't look good. Okay, you can earn money, but doesn't look good in the society. You are writer as a woman. Because of that most of the writers, the woman writers, avoid to publish under her real name. Okay. And Austen is often critical of assumption and prejudice, assumption and prejudice of upper class in England. Okay, because people are snob, and the society is stratified in class divisions. And based on the connections and the health and the money each family have and produce. Okay, and but she frequently satirizes snobs, but she also pokes fun of the poor breeding and misbehavior of those lower on the society scale. That means like she's not only like criticizes snob, but she criticized the lack of education and the lack of misbehaving. As her the family, we can the Bennets we can see in the in the film, they are like
loud people, né? Especially the mother, né?
They talk about the marriage of the daughters as a goal in life, and that's the truth, because it was
a goal.
That time it was the only chance they can sustain the style of the life, as Chris explained that time. If she turned widow, that means that they lost their house, they lost their farm, and as we say, like they will get like completely poor and without any benefit. Okay.
I have to tell you, have only 2 minutes because we are already going through midday, né? And then our happy hour should finish.
No, it's the last. Now I can show only the last because I think
it's interesting.
I'm here in Southampton. These pictures I took here in Southampton, all of this. Okay, it's the connection. The first in the left is the Jane Austen house for the last 2 years in her life. She lived there, okay, and in the bottom of the picture you can see the explanation, the Jane Austen house, and she lived there from the 8-9, was sitting here in the Castle Square is the name of the neighbor, let's put it this way. Okay, and for me, what caught my attention, if you look for the second picture of in the bottom, okay, at the bottom, you can see that is the Bargate. Bargate is the landmark of the city, okay, and they put this plaque on top of this picture. Jane Austen Heritage Trail begins here, but if you read about the explanation, you can see it's not because something about Jane Austen happened in this point of the city. Is only to call the attention of tourists nowadays to see, oh, this city have connections with Jane Austen history. Okay, it's more about that.
They created, it's like it is. They created a tourist point.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Jane Austen and her in the age of 7 attend to a school, and nobody knows where is the school, and it's not, the school is not here in Southampton, but they put this information, the piece of information for me. The only reason is to call the attention to the tourist. Okay,
interesting.
And this hotel, the third one is a hotel, is Dolphin Hotel. Jane Austen had her celebrate of her 18th birthday there in the
18th birthday in this hotel.
This hotel, yeah.
Dolphin Hotel.
Dolphin Hotel. Okay, and another curiosity in the last one, this piece of the wall is the wall, the old wall we have here in Southampton, is in front of the pier, is really in front of the pier. And if you say, they put this another piece of information only to bring more connection with the city. Because if you think she lived here only two years of her life, they say Jane niece 14-year-old Fanny Knives record in her diary of Tuesday for 50th of September 1807 that Jane and the rest of the family embarks from here to visit friends in Highton for afternoon tea. And I say, yeah, but why? Why you put this kind of information like
out of nothing? So
yeah, it's only to ask for have more connection with the author, because she's very important here. And if you go to Bath, it's in the north of the country, is upper north. Because there you have properly like a Jane Austen house museum, because she most of the time in her life she lived there.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, girls. And Chris, we should have like, I don't know, one happy hour just about the Jane Austen. But Chris, okay, wait a minute. Now I'm going to pass to the boys. Okay, so Cesar, Carlos. So what about
share?
Yes, stop this sharing. So what would you like to say about Five Bloods and the documentary? What do you think it's interesting to talk about? Maria, I know she watched Five Bloods. Christina watched the documentary. Oh, you cut your audio, Chris.
The documentary.
The documentary. Okay,
The Mask.
Okay. And Carlos, I think saw the movie, and Cesar saw both, né?
Yeah.
I saw both as well. Okay, so let's go.
Okay. First of all, congratulations, girl.
Yeah,
nice job. Yes, very nice job.
Working hard. Chris is
working hard. Yeah, very nice.
Passionate woman for Jane Austen. Great. And what about our situation in Five Bloods? Now it's the men. Men in the 20th century, wartime, blacks.
Yeah. I think the main point of this movie is exactly the situation in that moment, and I think the black guys, the races. Yeah, of course the movie bring us the idea, of course the plot. Yeah, exactly. Different histories between the five black guys. But in some parts of that movie, bring it to us the idea what's happening in that age. For example, between the difference between black and white guys, the races, yeah, and the idea, of course, to the of that guys of the bring money, yes, to search and to take money, the gold, yes, the history was some part of the history, it's about the gold. But during the history, the fighting appears, the difference between them appears, yeah, exactly. One of them, it's more strong guy, but he has psychologist problem, very
Psychological problems.
psychological problems, because the war and because his life in America. And the another history of that guys is different history between them. But I think the idea is that to explain the American problem of racism, yes, because in that moment the America has how can I say person, for example, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, and some voices that try to understand the difference and to help the right civil rights of the blacks. Yes, black civil rights. Yes, it's correct. And in that moment, the move, we need to fight for us for the right movement, the black movement. But the point was the money. Sometimes the money appears. Yes.
Coincidentally, the same as in the 19th century. It's like this: money rules the world. Money,
Exactly. Money rules the world. Exactly. And
Christina has to say something.
But in England, between the 19th century and 20th century, you got a problem, got a difference, because people start to earn money, but still being still not being nobles. So when you go through the 19th century to the 20th century, you have a change in the England system. So in Downton Abbey, that's another series that shows, starts to 19, in the beginning of the 20th century, observe that the employees start to earn money because they save money, and they start to have money, they more money than the nobles, but they don't have the status.
They don't have the status. Okay, yeah. And then I ask a question for you to answer. Is there a similarity between the way black and white boys are raised in the US and in the world? Because here is the story of blacks at a certain moment in relation to the war as adults with psychological problems, etc. And then I'm trying to open up the discussion now, mixing with the documentary as well. The way that boys are raised, of course, in the American culture, the American way, but now thinking about also England in the 19th century, all right? But in this case, is in the US. Is there any difference between the way that black and white boys are raised?
Yes, I think there are differences. I think the American history and nowadays show us the difference. Yes, of course. For example, the documentary explain the education, the different sometimes the education between the kids. Yes, the people that have different education. And we know this is history difference between black and white guys in America. I think yes, there are a lot of difference, and in the war, there happened difference when the soldiers was prepared, the treatment between the soldiers and the 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 numbers of the soldiers between black and white guys. So I think the idea of the film, it's to bring a history that not explained in another films like American Hollywood films, the Hollywood films like Rambo, Schwarzenegger, and so on. And I think bringing some.
I think Maria has something to say. Sorry.
What I most like in this Five Bloods film is the way they put like the radio girl in Vietnam talk to the black soldiers in Vietnam, saying why black people are 30% of the American population, and here in Vietnam you are 60% of the soldiers. Why this happened? And when they told to the black soldiers in Vietnam, the Martin Luther King was killed. And how they use the knowledge about the racism in America to convince the soldiers, the American black soldiers in Vietnam, to give up, to understand you are fighting a war is not yours. Your country doesn't like you. Your country is not here for you, and you are here from them. Why? And I love this this part.
Yeah. And exactly this, Mario told you exactly this, the difference. Yes, and I read some articles, and when Martin Luther King died, some flags of the north, of the southern region of America, that are more racist. Yes, because the war.
Since the Civil War, né?
Yes, because the Civil War was arised some flags, and this shows the difference inside the war. And for example, the jail, the number of the soldier blacks, it's higher between the white soldiers. So there was two wars in that moment, inside Vietnam and inside America. Yeah, and I think different from us. I think the America history shows the difference between the ethics and the culture and the slaves and so on.
And I would like to ask Carlos. Carlos, what part of the movie impacted you, or that you remembered, in your memory, or comparing to our situation?
All the film, it's a masterpiece, because started the movie with the plot is a journey of bring the storming army, bring the character to the US to do a funeral. And then this journey transformed to the gold
rush, né? We call gold rush.
The gold rush.
A corrida ao ouro, né? The gold rush.
And like Cesar said, it's five people with different problems, and different ways to fight against racism.
Good.
If you
It's
see
true.
each person have motivo,
A reason.
a reason to come to the Vietnam. And the film starts with Muhammad Ali say about the fight, say about the black people went to the fight, fight the war with they don't belong them.
There, yeah, exactly. To fight for something that they don't have anything to do with that. Né? What for?
And fight about the rights they don't have in the US.
Exactly.
Fight about the war they don't started.
They haven't started.
Without reason. That and why more black people die because this. Why only black people stay in the front fighting against the Vietnamese?
This is a serious issue that Spike Lee, né? Spike Lee tried to bring up exactly this criticism.
Yeah. This film have four actors, and this actors is it's about the various movies, like Cesar said about Rambo and Chuck Norris and Apocalypse Now. The film mixed all the movies to bring this sensation, this feel, this
feeling,
look and feel, and mix emotions more to the black people, because we don't live this life. Don't have put the shoes to feel this.
You don't put the shoes. But I'm going to give you something for us to discuss now. I know Cesar wants to say. I saw part of the debate between Trump and Biden, and they said about what? Remember, Maria, about the Proud Boys and about the mafia. What is the
anti-fascist?
Fati, no, Fati.
Yeah.
That anti-fascism.
They have two debates. The first debate, it's a fight in the screen, and the second one, it's a
it was about the first one.
I didn't see
the second one is a change of opinion. If you see,
I was watching yesterday the second one. It's an invitation to everyone to watch both of them. But this is exactly this. So we are bringing, it's another Vietnam War. It's the supremacy groups, the white supremacy groups, so anti-fascist and these Proud Boys. So it's like using violent actions in order to massacre minorities.
Yeah,
but
Flávia,
okay,
sorry,
Cesar.
I only didn't say about my favorite part. My favorite part is a part with the Storm and Norm. Put your hand in the screen here, almost 1 minute, to the other guys join
to join the hands
to the union, the Bloods. This is a movement about Muhammad Ali. Yeah. In all the presentations of fights, or only all the fights, all the presentations. When finished, they stand the
Okay.
the fist.
Okay, the
Stand the
fist.
fist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's a signal to the fight to the black people, like the Panthers, like the Malcolm X, like the Muhammad Ali, but it's stand the fist.
Okay.
And this is a signal to all the black people joins the fighting against the racism. Shows the racism is a fight, and a fight, internal fight with the black people too, because
this is what
these people it's have a difference between them, but a purpose it's
a bigger, né?
It's a bigger than it's a hard fighter, and the people have to stay together to fight against.
To fight together against a big thing. Only union,
my favorite part.
Favorite part. Very good. Yes, I like that too. Just a moment. I think Chris has something to say. Say, Chris.
I didn't watch the film, but I will now.
Now you will. They convinced you to watch.
It's a confusion film in the first time, but you can see the movement all to understand because this movie is this way.
So I could understand by we were talking that the movie is about the war and the when the soldiers are treated in the armies for the war, but the thing starts in a Guerra das Confederações.
The Confederation War.
Civil War.
Confederation War.
It happens there. It starts there, very early, because the black people who decide to fight in the
against the North,
receive the freedom
from slavery.
You can see the patriot move.
Patriotism, patriotic ideas.
But I will ask if you know if in the Africa continent they had problems, because you're talking about black people are victims of racism, and sometimes I think they are more racist than we. But I understand that we have the white privilege. There is another documentary that I haven't seen yet, but it's talking about the white privilege. That's much more insidious, that we can realize. We have to be aware about that. As the white people, we have much more privileges, as very subtle privilege than the black ones. But I want to understand if just happened in the Western world, or if it's happened inside the Africa continent, apart South Africa. That South Africa, you know what's happened there. It's very, very
strong there.
Strong
apartheid
countries, because we saw the Muslims and we saw the Catholics, so the many religions. I've been watching many films from India, and I can see that the movement between the religions are much more important than the ethnic system sometimes. Carry on the racism.
Okay, before I pass to Cesar, Maria has something to say.
But in the end, it's more about minority and supremacy.
Yep.
It's not about race or religion. It's about minority. It's about supremacy of one ethnic or religion. It's crushing.
They are not minority in Brazil.
No. But no, I say minority in the sense of power, not in the sense of number. I'm saying minority in the sense of power. you know, is and what call my,
we are talking about the Pride and Prejudice, okay,
yeah,
guys?
because Chris, for me, last year we have the opportunity to be in the Slaver Museum in Liverpool, because Liverpool it's a important harbor for slaver trades. Okay, in this sense, there they have it was like it was the worst and the best experience in life, because it's really tough to get. Okay,
Go to a museum of slavery. Oh my God.
yeah,
it's like
really
the same as the Holocaust in Germany.
And for me, what for me
Imagine.
as a Brazilian, what make me really now it's easy to understand the process in slavery in America. Not I say America in the continent, as a continent. Okay, here all my black friends here, they know, doesn't matter where they born, they know where they are heritage, where they are from. They know each part of in Africa, because we call Africa is a continent. It's not one ethnic, it's not one country, it's a continent. But my friends here, my black friends here, they know where I'm from. And my black friends in Brazil, they don't know. They don't know, because the way the slavery trade make to happen is put different kind of people, ethnies, and language all together in the same boat, to avoid them to have like a what can I say, a revolution inside. To avoid them to take over of the boat, because they can't talk to each other. They put everybody in the same boat and bring to another continent. And for me, that's the most like wake up call I have in my life, when I realize, okay, when we talk about Black people, we still talk about Black people, not a ethnic, not
ethnicity,
not a nationality, because we don't know where Black people are from in America. It's completely different from here, because my friends, they know where they are from, they know where their family from, what kind of ethnic, what kind of country, and for me it's a completely change of my mind.
Very nice. Okay, so I will pass to César, né, César, because he's trying to say.
No,
it's just to conclude, né? We have more 10 minutes for us to conclude both parts. Okay?
Yeah, but I think
4 hours of happy hour. Go, César.
Like a summary. I understand the movie has two messages for me. The first one is exactly the idea. For example, the leader, I forgot the name. The leader of the Stormy Norman. The leader has a strong beliefs. Yes, exactly. A strong idea to spread the right, the civil right of the Black guys. The another idea is exactly the education of the team. For example, okay, I am Black, but I doesn't matter. I need money. I have to. I need money to survive. Exactly this, because in some parts of the movie they forgot the main point of this reunion. Exactly, I think
money.
Exactly, I think, for example, there are a strong movement. For example, in the United States, I think it's different from Brazil, but I have the education is the main point, because I think the most of the people doesn't understand the real idea of this movement, or I don't know if the people has the same rights or the same subject to discuss between them. I think of course, I think the two messages that I saw in this movie for me, the idea of the movement of the black and the white movement, and the idea of the money, the difference between that, the different problem between them. Because if I have a problem different for the yours, I forgot the main point, and I run away. I think exactly
There is an
that
expression in
happened.
English, né? Each one for himself, cada por si.
Yeah.
Né? Então,
Exactly
each one for
this.
himself. Né? So it's like individualism
Exactly.
and
Exactly. And
versus
And that's
social
all.
idea. Né?
exactly. And for me, just to finish, for me, the leader, the personal, the leader, sometimes it's necessary to group the people, to manage the ideas, to bring the purpose or the reason to happen something. Yeah. I don't know if my idea to resume to summary
Summarize, né?
to summarize the move. Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly this.
And my question now is, né, and we had on the other hand the documentary that, okay, talking about exactly the way that boys are raised, né? For sports, né? So the coach that goes there, you are like a girl, come on, you have to play. Don't be a girl, don't be sissy. Né? So don't be like, you know.
If they are like us, they never will lose a game because we.
If you see Marta, né, of our soccer team, né, female soccer team.
Yeah.
But the point.
It's harder for men, but it's harder for women also.
It's harder for women. Yeah, that is one point of, strength, né, when you talk about body strength, and there is also something called intelligence, né, and the power or so then it's and then you discriminalize and you discriminate, né? And this is prejudice again. Our focus is 5 minutes for us to think about Pride and Prejudice. So we can see Pride and Prejudice in all generations because this is a human failure. This is a human trait. It's a personality trait that we have to really fight in all the generations. What do you think?
While we be insecure
I think so.
about ourselves, you will have pride in a bad way because you can be today pride could be used in a good way, but in a bad way as a weak trait. Pride and prejudice is talking about insecurity and fear. While we have fear, we have preconceptions, we discriminate the others. Which more we know about the other stories, history, lives, which more we know about the others, more we are empathic. We can have empathic view. And when you learn more about the slavery, when you learn more about the Muslim people, when we can be attached to them and understand them, and you can talk about what we have in common more than what we are talking in difference. And just to finish my speech, the thing I learned with Pride and Prejudice, the book I read and I love a lot, is that we have things to change. We do have weak traits, but everybody can change. We can improve all these weak traits. But for this, we have to be aware of ourselves. So we have to take our lives in our hands and make the movement to get better. So I will finish because I speak too much and
But it's very nice. She's very enthusiastic about all the topics. Like Cristina, she says, Pride and Prejudice. She loves, she reads, she's engaged. Yeah. Maria, say your final words, Maria. You have your audio cut. What do you think? Do you agree with Cristina that Pride and Prejudice is a matter of, it's a weak trait because it's about insecurity?
Is about insecurity, and I think the cure for insecurity is knowledge. The way is knowledge, and it's about and talk about empathy as also like when you have empathy,
You respect.
You respect. And also I think about prejudice, not prejudice,
Pride.
pride is also the cure for pride for me is vulnerability. Is to show vulnerability. When you show vulnerability, when you show vulnerability, that means you are cured. You are in the process to be cured, from proud.
Pride.
From pride. From pride.
Right.
Proud adjective and pride is the
pride.
Pride. Okay, very good. Yes, great. Do you agree, Carlos? Do you think that? Do you agree with Maria?
Yeah, I
the
agree.
The cure
but,
is empathy.
I don't know. I think it's we don't have cure because yeah. In general view, we will have always we will always have this kind of people
behavior.
Yeah.
But you are a little bit pessimistic about that, or are you not a little optimistic?
Yeah. No, I'm not optimistic.
No.
I see. I agree with Christina and with Maria, because Christina said all the people can change, but it's hard, and always we have the new people. Always we have the new people with the same thoughts with their parents. And the words change fast, and the thoughts change fast too, and it's too hard to follow this thing. It's hard to follow in the same time. And I think we have the pride and the
prejudice
and the prejudice all the time about things, about other things, not the same.
Okay. Yeah, it's true.
And
I agree.
You have and you have to learn about that, about this, how manage this. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. And you, Cesar, do you agree with Carlos? Do you think that it's okay? We are going to continue having pride and prejudice for many things, not only in relation to racism, not only in relation to social classes, but what do you think?
I think I will put a link between the documentary, the masks, and the movie, the Pride and Prejudice. I think every day, every time, I think all of us use wear some masks, and I think Pride and Prejudice is explain about the masks. I didn't see the movie, but
it's a good point.
Yes, my understanding is correct.
Very good. My
understanding exactly the masks. They wear the masks, and doesn't matter the age that we live, or in the past, on the future. Every day we put the masks, and our pride or prejudice, or good or bad masks. I think it's a fighting. It's every day we have to fight.
And do you fight? And do you all fight against the masks?
It's not easy. It's not. I think it's hard fighting. For example,
At work, né? Remember, Cesar, the other day in
yes,
class, we were talking
yes,
about this.
yeah,
You go
about
for a
work.
meeting, you go for an interview, and then what is your mask? Né?
Yeah,
What,
for
how
example,
you're going to be in front of
just
I
us?
use a mask every day.
You wear the mask
exactly
every day.
Yeah,
every day, every day.
and I use the mask here in my personal life, and I use the mask in my work life.
Yeah,
In different masks, because
Nowadays,
I have to
and
use this mask because I work with different people, and then I
exactly.
can manage these people to
The
be
same way.
a nice guy, because I sell, I have to sell to them.
An image. Mhm.
Yeah.
the
I don't
social
know.
media
Yeah,
nowadays is the biggest mask in
Yeah,
life, isn't it?
yeah.
Everybody shows
Everybody's
a
happy.
perfect life, happy life, healthy life.
yeah, exactly. And I don't know
If you
if
put
correct
your
or not.
image, sad image, all the people send messages to you.
What happened?
Yeah,
What happened?
yeah, yeah.
You call
But I don't know.
attention. You call attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flavia.
Cesar,
I
I
don't
have
know
a
if
question.
correct or not. I
I
don't
have
know.
a question for you.
What is the question, Maria?
I have a question for Cesar because
Oh, yeah.
you are the one who have kids. I don't remember. Sorry, I don't remember the age of your kids. But
8 in 5 years.
oh, nice. Especially for the one who have 8. How you see your kids as a human being in the sense of vulnerability, in the sense of empathy, in the sense of you know,
Yeah.
society, as a human being living in a society. How you see them compared to the other generation?
Yeah,
Because I have my feelings, and
yeah, of course.
do.
Maria, for me, it's very hard to 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 education today. The education today,
Or to
but
bring up, né? Remember,
to bring up,
up.
exactly. But I try to teach the values. I think because I don't know, it's we have a lot of information, internet, schools, parents, grandparents, family, and there are different points of views between us, and I try to teach exactly this, the values. For me, what's the bad and the good points. But sometimes I'm not correct, of course, and sometimes I think the world will teach
Yeah, the world
them,
will teach them.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, you do what you can, huh? So you put all the
Yeah,
values that you consider good for
exactly,
them to develop as adults.
exactly. Yes,
But how do you see them? Like not what you are trying to do, but how do you see them? You think they are better? They have more conscience than
Consciousness.
we had in the past when we are in the same age?
yeah, of course.
Because I think my kids, I have this feeling, my kids' generation, they are more active and
Yeah,
politicized than my generation. When I was a
yeah,
teenager,
yeah, no, of
I
course.
don't care about politics. I don't care about
Hmm.
World issues, né? World issues.
But
world
why?
issues. Yeah,
But why you see this
because
with
here
your
it's
kids?
like
Because
in my kids.
in the
Sorry, you can say.
in the past, when you live with our parents, we don't have social media, we don't have internet, we don't have many things to globalize the
Some days
mentality.
I
And
think
then
even teenagers doesn't have voice that time.
and when we live, we live without see the journal, without see the news in the journal. We don't have the journal and read the news to see or to politicize. And now
Politicize.
then the politicize when the and now when we open the portal or the Instagram or Facebook, you know, or all the social media, Twitter, the social media shows to us what I can do. You can see shows only you need to see, and then politize about the social media, like the documentary, recently documentary about this social.
Yes,
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Netflix social media.
No,
Very nice.
social media.
I haven't seen yet, but I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice.
And then we have to conclude, guys. We but very nice. I think the discussion was that, right? I think we could achieve. Congratulations to everybody. We really tried hard to speak. Okay, girls, so they work. Unfortunately, Patricia Mendes couldn't attend because her son that has a little disability with his mouth, so had a little surgical procedure, and then she had to take care today. And then I said to her, she apologized, and then I told her family is priority. Family is especially here in Portugal. I think in all the world, but here in Portugal, it's family number one. So they are very much attached to each other. And then I think it's important. It's exactly these, the values that we are talking about. And these values like this. But Patricia, I'm going to send what Patricia did, because it was a very nice PowerPoint about Florence Nightingale and comparing to Pride and Prejudice characters. So and even tracing a parallel between the characters of the book by Jane Austen and also the values, etc. It's interesting to compare the different generations. Okay, so we are finishing our happy hour. I know that could be even more. I know that you work it a lot. Christina prepared lots of things, studying all the time. That's very good, Chris. In general, the English, Carlos also is improving. Carlos, very nice. Congratulations. Cesar also improving. So more and more. So guys, it's like this. So let's see. Probably this year, I don't know if we're going to have another happy hour, because now my personal life situation is also a little bit a bump in the road. When you say a bump in the road, so I have some steps to overcome here. But let's keep up. So the next one, but think about what we could do the next. Other topics, and being prepared to speak, because I think this is an opportunity for you to expose different topics, something completely different. I try to watch everything. I watched everything, but it's nice for me too to have an idea. But something interesting, analyze Donald Trump and Joe Biden's speeches, the debates.
The second one, okay.
The second one was some days ago, 2 days ago, I think, or yesterday.
2 days ago.
2 days ago. So, like it is, so let's analyze because we depend on the US decisions. And I can say about the euro fluctuation that we are having in
euro, dollar.
Some people say this election is so important to Brazil. We must have the right to vote.
I don't know how serious or how a joke this is.
All this.
Jesus Christ. Okay, guys, all the best to you all. Have a great weekend. Thanks for participating in our happy hour.
Thank you.
All the best. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
I recorded. Later I will show you the link. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay,
Good weekend. Bye.
Bye. You can start leaving. Okay. You can start leaving. Kisses. Bye.